Hello everyone, welcome to KozStreamsTV. I'm Koz, and I just want to say a quick thank you for spending some time checking out my videos. If you like what you see, hit that like and subscribe button as it goes a long way in letting me know what you want to see more of. Now, let's jump into the video. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Week Whatever Vaults. It was Week 11, and we have some vaults to open. Let's talk about last week. We had Incorporeal, Fortified, and Sanguine. And it really wasn't that bad of a week. I think the biggest challenge of last week was just getting into groups that could effectively get through the keys. I had lots of trouble trying to do 24s with groups that would get so far and maybe not understand the mechanics. For example, I did an Atal, a 23 Atal on my Demon Hunter, and it was a smooth run. We got to the end with plenty of time left, but we got to the last boss. We had 3 ranged and myself and another melee, and the range would stack all over the place, right? So we had one in the top right corner, one in the bottom left corner, one person kind of in the middle of the room, and spiders everywhere, and that key was a failure. We went back, tried it again, we just didn't have enough time. So it's really frustrating. It's like people, even at 3k IO, still don't really understand the dungeons. So that was part of the problem I was having. It was kind of messy in that key. I tried other keys such as Everbloom. I did a few rises with the nerfs. It did feel much better. I was able to push a couple keys, and I wasn't really trying to push on the Monk, but we did actually get our IO up last week. We went from 3155, where we've been sitting for a while, up to 3163. We completed one of the 22 Atals we did. I was mainly just focusing on doing my 4 dungeons for the week on the Monk and trying to get Midas Talisman from Atal. So I mainly ran Atals, but I did a 22 Atal and I 2-chested it, which gave me 2 points, which was kind of funny, which brought me out to 3157. And then I ran a 23 Rise, and previously all I had was a 21. So we got significant points out of that. We're up to 3163, nothing crazy. I would like to start pushing a little higher again on the Monk. The challenge right now, I think, is week over week, there's less and less players playing. And a lot of the more skilled players have already kind of achieved their IO ratings that they want, and either they're in line to get the title, or the ones that got higher scores, just they're kind of done and happy with where they are. So it is getting harder and harder to find skilled players. I'm going to try to find at least 2 to 3 other people that I can run with consistently, just because I feel like last week I probably tried to do about 25 keys, and at 20 and up, I only completed maybe 8. So out of those keys, 8 were timed and or finished. No, the majority of them were just timed, but overall I did run a lot more than 8 keys. I think, like I said, it was about 25. I know on my Demon Hunter, he only completed 5 runs. Oh, so that's different. So I guess I did a total of 9 runs. But yeah, on the Demon Hunter, I had a really hard time. I was trying to focus on specific keys to get them at 24. It just didn't work out that way. We'll talk about that a little later. But yes, the Monk's at 3163. No new gear upgrades. He is completely decked out with all his best in slot items. So what we're going to do is we're going to open Vault. We're going to open it in Windwalker spec and see if we can get the Talisman out of Atal. And he will also have 2 of his Mythic raid slots as well. So let's take a look, see what we get. Alright, so out of his Mythic raid slots, we have Feet that we won't need just because we're already running the Toxic Slimy Expulsion Boots. We already have our best in slot Shoulders, so nothing good out of the raid slots. Out of our dungeon slot, we got 483 Chest Piece, which we don't need because we already have the tier. We have a Belt. We're already using a Crafted. This is Heavy Haste. We wouldn't use that. And then we have another Belt, which is Verse Mastery. Better stats, but again, we have the Crafted Belt with our well-fed buff, so we won't be taking any of these. This is also a hero track. So this week we are taking the tokens and aiming to try and get a socket. So out of my available gear, I think I will be socketing my wrist, because that is the last piece that needs it. We could also do one of the rings, so we got some options on what we can socket, and we'll probably do most likely the wrists. They would be the highest increase. I know for a fact this is one of our best to slot rings, and then our wrists we probably won't be changing anytime either. I'm going to socket the ring for now, as I can use this both for Windwalker and for Brew. And next up we have the Demon Hunter. No significant gear upgrades on him. I've kind of been rotating between Midas and his Cheat Death Trinket. Obviously the scales is only at Veteran track, so the max I can upgrade this to is 463. I have tried to farm fall to try and get it. I haven't had much luck. Unfortunately for me in this trinket, any of my characters, I don't get very lucky with it. What we completed last week on the Demon Hunter is we did some of the raid. So we got the 3 raid slots on Heroic at least, and I did get a Tindril and Farak kill. There was no Rage Heart that dropped, so no luck there. So that will be 3 of the slots we get to open, and then just quickly taking a look at his IO, he did get some significant updates, some significant IO from last week. We started the week at 2850, we finished the week at 2930. I tried to run the Etals, the Everbloom, and the Throne at higher keys. Like I said, every 23 and 24 I got into just fell apart, either midway through, either very early. But yeah, unfortunately, I just couldn't get those keys timed. However, we did get some other ones done. We got a 22 Fall done, a 22 Blackrock Hold, a 22 Wake Rest Manor, which actually gave us 28 points. We had a 23 Darkheart Thicket, which gave us 26 points. And then we also, our very last key last night was just a 23 Fall. This actually started as a 24. We got to the last boss, and the Monk Healer we had just couldn't dodge the Earth Shakers, the straight lines that were coming at him. He died 3 times. We used all our B-Res. We couldn't finish the key because Chromie died, and we just didn't have the time to try again. So we did do this out of 23. We got 11 points. So finishing the week off at 29:30, I think that's a strong finish. And this week, there should be no issues, hopefully, pushing these well past 20 and 21. For his vault, we are going to open it in Vengeance spec. Obviously, the goal here is to try to get Rage Heart and or Prophetic Scales, and unfortunately for us, we get the complete opposite trinkets of what we need. We have Ashes of Embersoul and the Gift of Ursine, which I believe I already have a Gift of Ursine. 483 Mythic Track Feet, Crit Haste, and then we also get a 483 Back Piece, which is a significant upgrade, so at this point, this would be the best thing that we can take as it comes with Haste and Verse. And after taking the cloak and fully upgrading it, we are now up to 482. Not a bad spot for the DH. Looking forward to pushing some keys on him this week. Alright, and last but not least, we have our Paladin. He hasn't really moved much. He is not a main. I'm just kind of playing around with him. Still getting the hang of actually playing Pally. My usage of defensives, like I'm starting to learn the rotation of building up to use my Shield of the Righteous, to get to use my Word of Glory. It's definitely taken, so the more I run, the easier it's getting. I am only running between 11 and 13. I don't want to deal with the last Affix, which would have been Sanguine this week, and he is only 443, so why struggle when I don't have to? I did run 411 to 13 keys in the hopes that we would get some, heroic gear. So let's see what we get out of our vault. We're going to open it as prot spec. Alright, so we have 473 hero shoulders, which is a significant upgrade compared to his 415s that he has now. And then we also have socketed wrists. So I took a quick look at his gear. I have the only piece that I can catalyze right now is the head. So I will take the shoulders, and I have a 470 hero track headpiece that I will catalyze. Just quickly taking a look at this, we have the 470 head and the 473 shoulders. These are the only 2 pieces that we can catalyze to at least get our 2 set on our Paladin. He's significantly behind. We do still have the old tier we're running. And then we have 421 blue hands. So he needs a lot of gear. Maybe I'll play him a little more this week, just kind of pick away at him. He's been fun, so we'll see how that works out. And that is it. That's really all we did this week. We are looking at Tyrannical, Entangling, and Bursting this week. I don't think this week is a hard week, per se, minus the fact that it's Tyrannical. The challenge is that Bursting takes away the fun of a non-fortified week. So having a add affix on a Tyrannical week means that you can't go in and have fun like you would, for example, for a Tal. You go left, you do that big pull, and you can actually grab the extra 3 sometimes, or even in Everbloom, you can't just go in and grab 3 sets of petals like I usually would at a higher key on my DH or on my Monk, because I know they'll live and lust it, because you're going to get up to over 15 stacks of bursting and wipe anyway, and everything's going to reset. So I really think some of the affix at this point, they're more annoying and tedious versus even being any fun whatsoever. I am looking forward to the season when Blizzard finally just removes affixes and maybe put 1 a week on, maybe just a seasonal that you have to deal with for the entire season, and you can just push the keys and they combine Fortified and Tyrannical and tune around that. If every dungeon has Fortified and Tyrannical, it may be a little easier to tune all around. It may be painful for the first few weeks, and considering Blizzard's track record this season of not performing dungeon tuning as quickly as they should, it may be concerning, but I think we need a change. We need to move away from the affix system we have now. It's not very fun. The combinations, there's just weeks you just don't play. This is one of those weeks, I don't know how eager I'll be to push very high keys, only because you're going to run into timer problems because you can't pull very big. And on some tyrannical bosses, for example, the last boss in Everbloom, it's a 7-minute fight depending on the key level. If you can't pull big on the beginning because you're wiping constantly to bursting, it's really just not fun. So we will do the best we can this week, and definitely on the Demon Hunter, I will aim to get 22 or higher across the board, and then the Monk, if I can get a 25 in there, a couple 25s, that's what I will aim for, and I'll probably work on the Pally a little more. The DH is very close to 3k, so I'm thinking I'm going to get him to 3k, and then what tank should I work on next? My Monk and my Demon Hunter at 3k. I'm thinking maybe the Pally, but he is a meta, so maybe instead of that we do a Blood DK or a Warrior. Both of which are actually somewhat geared right now. At least my Warrior is. He's about 2,500 IO, so he wouldn't be too hard to get up to. And just kind of do a comparison. My Bear Tank and my Blood Death Knight would definitely need some work. So let me know. Maybe you guys have an idea of what I should play next. Maybe we can spin the wheel and figure it out. But I am looking forward to the week. I'm hoping that it goes a little smoother than it has recently. Good luck in your vaults, and have a good week. Alright, and that's it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far, hit that like and subscribe button to show me that you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week.